all these cameras have special mounts on the bottom. They require one of these tripod adapter plates. The plates on the bottom either have a 1/4 inch or a 3/4 inch or a combination of it, so you can get the tripod plate to attach to the adapter plate. You've got a front plate here, fits in, and then you rotate the lever back. It locks the camera in. That's just the simple mounting of the camera. This one has a studio back, which means that it has a multi-core pin. This uses a 14-pin output or input. It's goes both ways, and the camera receives power, and it also sends and receives video signals on it. You've got some other connectors for intercom, gen lock in, video out for local use. If you've got a monitor, either full-size monitor, or if you've got a eyepiece, they both plug in here. VF for viewfinder. And that's pretty much how you get these plugged in. As for operating the camera, these have the lens. The focus is manual, so there's no servo on that, but the zoom is servoed. So you can either use the rocker, or on the bottom here there's a connector, and you can get a rocker zoom, and we have several of those that'll connect to this and allow, if the camera is powered up, will zoom the lens. This is a mechanical adapter for the focus, so you can have another handlebar controller for the focus. If you are not going to be powering the camera through the multi-core connector, and that's what using a CCU or a camera control unit, you will need to power the camera through this 4-pin XLR here. You'll need to look up the camera specs for the exact voltage, amperage ratings. I believe we've got a manual in here somewhere, and you guys can have that.
Yeah.
Alright. So these are the CCU units. This top one here and the right side of this one here are the same. This here is just a power supply unit. All the CCUs require a power supply unit. As you saw, this thing here is one. This one here is one. This one, you need an adapter cord like this. It goes from the 14-pin to this 4-pin. So it simply plugs onto this, and then it plugs in here. Alternatively, if you do not wish to use the CCU, you can plug your camera directly into the power supply unit. You will not have CCU control over the camera, but you will power it. So that can be very useful. If you are going to be powering your camera and using the CCU, you will need to make sure that your camera is plugged in here. And all of these are twist locked. So you plug it in, you twist it, it locks, it doesn't fall out. On the back of the CCUs, they have a bunch of controls, or outputs for return video, gen lock, and video out. There's in and out for some of this stuff, otherwise it's just in. Some of it's also a loop through. So you can, so if you have 3, 4, 5 CCUs in a stack, the return video goes in the top one, out, into the second one, out, into the next one.
Daisy chain.
Yeah, it daisy chains it so that you don't have to run 5 signals from your DA over to this. On the front of these, you have control for basic camera operations, at least for these cameras. You mostly just want to work around with the iris, but gain and pedestal for your white and black balance. You've got a couple of options: bars for the camera, whether or not you want to put gain up 0, 9, 18 dB. White balance can be preset or manual. Manual is probably what you're going to want to use, and you're going to want to use scopes to get that correct. Power for the camera. Your master pedestal here, just your black level, how bright that's going to be. Auto, manual, it's mostly self-explanatory, but practicing, playing around with it, you'll probably get the feel for how it works. If you are going to be using this with an intercom system, you're going to need to get a breakout cable. And this is another viewfinder port here. So if you wanted to attach a viewfinder there, you could, but it's not really necessary since you'll usually take the video out and that'll go through a monitor or something. All right? Cool. Okay, so for taking your analog composite video and converting it into a computer for use, either streaming or recording or anything, you're going to need some sort of a digital and analog converter. Most DV decks do have a converter built in. You can also buy external boxes that are strictly just a converter. They are all going to have a FireWire input-output. This one, it's got a FireWire Mini, or 400 Mini. So FireWire 400 is the old style, FireWire 800 is the new style. With the old style, there is 4-pin and 6-pin. 4-pin doesn't provide power, but you get the same data rate as the 6-pin. It's just a little bit smaller, looks a little bit like a mini USB. Confuses a lot of my coworkers. So you just plug that into your computer, and either with a 4-pin to 4-pin or 4-pin to 6-pin, whatever your computer requires. You can then take any video input or tape, and it will, your camera or your computer will be able to see that video. So going out of the camera and into here, you would need a BNC to RCA adapter. It's just a little BNC adapter, pretty common, and you plug it into here. Once you go in, this will see it and you convert it to digital. Now with this one, you actually have to select from DV, S-video, and video input. That's pretty standard, and from there it's all about what software you have on your computer, and that's something I can't really